So let's figure out a convenient way for us to start the front end Angular project, because we are focused mainly on the backend architecture and services. So if you are not experienced in set up Angular and set up Node.js and start Angular project in your local, so then we can use Docker to start the Nginx server and then connect our distribution folder to the server, so that you don't have to set up Angular at all. Okay, you just gonna commit this code to GitHub, and you can just check out the compiled version and then start the Nginx server. Okay, using Docker. Let's open the web page and just search Docker Nginx. Okay, so we can just go to the Nginx, which is a very popular web server here, and then we just need to run this command. Okay, so in the Docker, open a terminal, okay, and then put this command here. So basically what it does is just you let Docker run Nginx container. Okay, so the name is some Nginx. Let's just call it SEP Nginx, or Nginx SEP, so to differentiate. Okay, for example, ingredients, if you want to test this front end. Okay, and the volume is basically to set, okay, our local folder to the Nginx main web application folder. So here we need to put our folder like this one. Okay, so we can just copy the path and the reference and copy the absolute path. Okay, and then just to replace with the first part. Okay, before the column. Okay, so before the column. Okay, so then this folder will be treated, basically it's like our local folder will be treated as this folder in the container. Okay, and the read and the only access. Okay, so and then -d is the background running, and then Nginx is the image name. Okay, so by default it will download the latest version. So let's hit enter, and you can see it will try to download the latest Nginx image, and everything started. So now go back to our dashboard, and then we're gonna have a new Nginx server set up here. Okay, so there could be ways that we can do it from the UI, but I'm not quite familiar with this UI. I don't know how to set all those parameters. But anyways, the command line is the easiest one. Okay, so I'll put this command in the description of the video. So after this is up and running, so we can just simply access the server. But one thing I forgot is just the port mapping. Okay, so we don't have any port opened, so there's no way we can access it from our local host. We can actually add one. Okay, just from here. Let me see if I can do it from here. Nope. Okay, I'm not really. Okay, so let's just remove it. Okay, and start it over. Okay, use the same command, and we need to forward the port. Okay, so forward the port. We can use -p. Okay, and then in our localhost's port number, let's just also use 80, and the container port also 80. Okay, and hit enter. So because we already have the image, so it won't download it again. Okay, now go back, and now you can see the 80 port is mapped. Okay, so we just need to access this localhost 80 port, which is default port, so you don't have to put anything. So that's why our localhost look like this now, no 8080. Okay, but you can see our front end is loaded and everything is working. Okay, it's just because now our front end code is running in the Nginx server. Okay, so Docker is very, very important. So we just go detail into this command, how it works, and it's also very easy for us to set up a local development environment. Okay, so again, what does this Docker do is, okay, we start an Nginx server inside the Docker container, and then we map our local port 80 to 80 in the container, and also we map our local Angular project into the container's nginx host folder, so that whenever we start the nginx, then our front end code also will be hosted on the server. Okay, it's just a web application, web server. It's just server HTML and CSS JavaScript. Okay, so if you don't like 80, okay, here if you don't like this nothing there, then you can just delete the Docker and then change this part from 80 to like 8888 or something like that. You know, don't have any conflict. Don't use any port which already been taken. Okay, so do it better. Don't use 8080 because that's the default Tomcat port. All right, so that's it. Thanks.